What's up, world? It's your boy Jerron, and we're back again for another video for Starstruck TV. I'm back again with my guy Epic Norlan. So Epic Norlan has actually submitted multiple songs to Starstruck TV for reactions, and it's always great to get content from him because I love to see if he's growing, trying out new things, and it's a journey. It's a journey, and he's also from Tucson, Arizona, which is where I'm from. So, you know, Tucson hip hop scene, which is on fire right now. I'm always going to show love and show respect to my Tucson cohorts. So Epic Norlan actually submitted a track. The track's called One Call Away, and it's actually a remake / cover of Chingy's One Call Away back in the early 2000s. So with that in mind, I actually think that artists should try to do more covers and more like beat jacks. It used to be very common back in the day when I was like first starting out in the hip hop series, like hip hop scene. You would have like literally like J Arms, for example, a very popular DJ, would release instrumentals of every single hip hop song that came out for the purpose of artists to rap over. And the idea is that, like, you know, you find your beat, you find your demographic because you're pulling in similar artists who like those songs. So I really like the fact that he realized that, you know, he kind of has a little Chingy tone to his vocals a little bit. He kind of sounds like this a little bit when he raps, which is not a bad thing at all. And so that's kind of like how Chingy sounds. So I think he was able to draw the parallel and be like, hey, like, if I do this One Call Away cover, I can draw in Chingy fans. So with that in mind, he did this song, this cover, and I like the approach. It seems to be like a dedication to a particular girl. The music video has him whipping a Tesla, drinking buzz balls with some chicks, but it's like a particular girl, and like he's talking on the phone with the girl. And it's one of those things where I think that as artists, we need to start to like kind of make songs like this. I'm not saying that you aren't already if you're just watching this randomly, but like I listen to a lot of music, and I think that songs that are more focused and more direct, they don't have to be about women, they don't have to be about money or jewels or whatever, but just topics, just talking about something that tells a story that has a flow to it. I think is becoming more and more important, especially with like the rise of AI songs and stuff like that. Being able to tell your story in a unique way on music is going to be the key and the secret to setting yourself apart from others. And so Epic does that on this track. He tells a story about a girl that he's into. On the first verse, he talks about why he likes her. And on the second verse, he calls her one call away. And there's like a little phone conversation that's pretty cool at the first half of the second verse that shows like, you know, that ingenuity, that shows the fact that, hey, I am trying to tell you guys a story. It's a very specific and very like purposeful effort here, which I really enjoy. Like he thought this through. He was like, I'm gonna do one call away. I'm gonna have this scene with this girl on the phone, and I'm calling her, and I go pick her up, and that's the music video. And it's like, okay, sometimes it's that simple. It's that simple. And so I really like what Epic Norlan did with that. The song itself is a cover, so it's like the production is a Chingy beat. It's literally Chingy One Call Away. So I'm not like mind blown by that because I've heard the song thousands of times. But I like his approach on it. It's kind of like a cover remake. Like he remakes the chorus for sure. Which is probably my least favorite part about this, and I'll get to that in a second. But he creates his own version of Chingy's One Call Away. It's not like a full one-for-one cover. But he does redo the chorus, and then he does do his own version and have a little phone conversation with Homegirl on the second verse. And it's a cool effort. Like I said, it's a very cool effort. I like what he tried to do with that. But we're going to get into some of the negatives of this. I think the mix on the chorus is a little jarring. And I don't know exactly how to explain it, but it's like, because in the original version of Chingy's song, you have the, you go home with me, because I'm just one call away, right? And like the way that it's layered, like the, you will go home with me is like more in the background as the one call away part is more up front. And on his mix, on Epic's mix, they're like at the same level, and it's a little jarring. So I'll play it. I'm not sure how well this is going to sound, and I'm trying to avoid playing more songs. You're probably wondering why I'm not playing the song like I did in my last reaction videos. It's because y'all be flagging me. I'm not saying that you will, but you're doing a cover of Chingy, so I don't know what the copyright content ID mechanics are of this. So I'll play a little snippet. Let's see if I can get the part that I'm talking about here. So, you know, familiar song, you know the beat, right? Uh, which is great. And then you have the right, 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 right. So the you could roll with me is like too loud. And I think that it overpowers and overlaps the if you were my baby part. So that's not Epic's fault. That's more of an engineering part. I'm not sure if he recorded himself or he went to engineer. But the you could roll with me part should be like ducked under the if you was my baby part. Because there is overlap on that. And maybe even duck it under and then spread it out stereo wise and put it on the sides versus it right down the middle. So then you have it ducked under and then it kind of flows into the if you were my baby. It's very jarring. And like I said, I like what he's trying to do, but like that's the first thing I hear was that clash of the if you could roll me and you were my baby. There's a clash there that's like, oh, kind of throws me off a second. It takes me a second to like adjust to it. And then I think overall, like the distinction between his voice and Chingy's voice is actually not clear at all, which is what I was saying. I think that's a good thing. I think sounding like Chingy on the chorus is going to attract that audience and that demographic. Now, the demographic is another question, right? Because we're talking about a Chingy song from like what? When that song came out, like 2005, 6, something like that. When did that song come out? One Call Away. Let's see. This song came out, right, in 2003. So the demographic is literally like people like my age. I'm 41 years old. I'm not sure how. I think Epic's a couple of years younger than me. But that demographic is people who are already familiar with that song and they want to be able to like have those nostalgic feelings, have those feelings of, oh, I remember when I used to dance in the club with the song, et cetera, and so forth. You want to be able to have all that. And I think that he kind of accomplishes it. I think what would have been better would be if he found a way to like inject some more of Chingy's more famous lines from the song into his song. Because basically what he does, he has Chingy's chorus and then he has his verses. And then it goes back to Chingy's chorus. And I think there's probably a bit of a disconnect there. If like you're a fan of the original song and you are like you love that song, that's one of your favorite songs. So you're gonna sing along with the chorus and you're feeling it, and then he goes on his own thing. That could be a disconnect. It could work. I don't know. But I'm just thinking that like I would probably try to like integrate more of the original artist's like flow and thing. And so I actually think about this when I was working with some of the artists. There's an artist that I worked with, and she did a cover of Cardi B's I Like It. Very similar to what this is, where she kind of had a similar chorus. And what she did though, which I thought was really interesting, is that she took Cardi's flow, but then she replaced all the lyrics with like her lyrics. And now what that did is it creates a recognition, right? Where it's like you understand the flow because you're used to the song and you've heard it so many times, but the words are different. So you're engaged, but you're listening actively because you're trying to see like how they're flipping it, right? And so I kind of wish that he would have did a little bit more of that, because of the fact that the flow that he's writing is a little bit off a little bit, and that's always kind of been Epic style, is that he's kind of been like he kind of creates his own like pocket sometimes when he raps. And so that could be off-putting too. But I do think that, like I said, the overall attempt of what he was trying to do with this song in terms of like making it this love song and making it this song about, you know, picking up the girl, calling the phone, having the phone conversation, the way he approached it, I think it's all there. And I think this is a good effort all over the place. And Young Mac shoots the music video, which I'll put a link in the description, and he kills the video. It's a cool video. So shout out to Epic Norlan for submitting the song. You guys go check it out and let me know what you think yourself in the comments. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, doing all the stuff that we do on these channels. And hit me up if you want a reaction video on this channel, because I will give you my honest opinion, give you some love, and make sure that it's something that you enjoy and that you can use for your own stuff. But I'm out. I got plenty more content to go shoot. I got another episode of the Draw Night show coming soon. So I'll see you all soon. Peace.